Good evening. In today's session, let's discuss regarding cropping pattern in India. By looking at the topic, we can easily understand that this topic falls under agriculture. Agriculture is one of the important topics in our syllabus. But with respect to agriculture, you have learned so many things in your geography class. Like if you look at the crops, Rabi crops, Kharif crops, and Zaid crops. Regarding all these, you have learnt during your Indian geography class. And with respect to our economy class, we need to concentrate more on cropping pattern in India. So we are going to focus on that one. But before going ahead with this one, I would like to touch some areas like Kharif, Rabi, and Zaid seasons very briefly, only for the sake of the smooth flow of this particular topic. And here you are going to come across with various terminologies like the crop rotation, intercropping, mixed cropping. Many things are going to come into the picture. Let's try to understand one after the other very carefully. Let's begin. If you look at the first one, there are three types of crops in India. One is Rabi crops, second one is the Kharif crops, and in between these two, you will also come across with the Zaid crops. Clear? So you have to understand this one very clearly, and very briefly I am going to touch this. As I told you, if you look at the Rabi crops, they are sown in winter. Again, a known point. From October to December and harvested in summer. That is from the April to June. But otherwise, so what are all the crops under this Rabi, and where exactly they are cultivated? All these things you already know. So from here, let's go ahead. And I would like to tell you one thing. When we discuss about Rabi crops or Kharif crops, the first thing you need to understand very clearly is regarding green revolution, which we have discussed while discussing about the planning in India. Clear? And we understood that with the green revolution in India, so the yield has increased like anything. Our productivity has increased, and we have given all the credit to the great personality who is considered to be the father of green revolution in India. It was late Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Clear? So we have to remember all these great personalities, forever. Right? And if you look at this one, one reason for the grand success of, the Rabi crops is also because of the green revolution. Clear? That is number one. Number two, if you look at the Kharif crops, right? You know what are the Kharif crops, the seasons and everything. And from here, let me straight away go to the so-called, the Zaid season, right? Where exactly is this? It is between Rabi and Kharif seasons, right? Hopefully you are aware of this one. So there is a short season during the summer months, and this is known as the Zaid season, and those crops are called Zaid crops. Clear? And some important crops that are produced during the Zaid are, obviously these are the summer crops: watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetables, fodder crops, sugarcane, right? All these will be falling under the Zaid crops, which are cultivated during the Zaid season. Clear? So please remember this one: Kharif, Rabi, and you also have Zaid crops. So now let's go ahead and discuss the rest of the points related to this topic. So this is the cropping pattern. So what exactly you mean by the cropping pattern? You have a land, say for example 10 acres land or 5 acres land, and very small farmers may have half acre or 1 acre land. And how exactly they are utilizing this land for the purpose of agriculture, for cultivating the crops. That is called cropping pattern. That is the reason why, if you observe some people in India who are into agriculture, So they will keep on cultivating the same crop every year, and some people will utilize the land for cultivating more than one crop every year. Clear? And some people will rotate the crops. So these are all the cropping pattern systems that are present in India. Let's try to understand more. Clear? Look at this now. So when I say cropping pattern in India, this refers to the proportion of land that is under cultivation for different crops at different periods of time. So whenever we are mentioning about the crop pattern or cropping pattern, we are taking only that land into consideration which is under cultivation. See, for example, somebody may got 10 acres of land. Out of this 10 acres, he may be cultivating only in 5 acres. And for some reason, that person is not making use of the rest of the land. So when I discuss about the cropping pattern, I have to mention only about that land that is under cultivation and what are the crops that are being cultivated and how exactly the resources of the land are being used by the concerned person. That is called cropping pattern. So this will give an understanding of the time and arrangement of crops in a particular land at a certain period of time. That is the reason why, so before the monsoon only, the land is plowed. Clear? And so once the monsoons are set, the seeds are sown, and the agriculture people, the farmers, they will get ready. So because they are very clear about the seasons, under what season what has to be cultivated. So in order to cultivate this one, what measures must be taken? What are the crops that require larger amount of water supply, meaning irrigation? Clear? And what are the crops that require low amounts of in the water? So what are the crops that require large amounts of fertilizers? And how exactly you need to keep the soil rich? So all these are covered under the cropping pattern. That is the reason why agriculture is not an easy job. That is the reason why the institutions like ICAR, they are working for increasing the production of agriculture in India. And time to time, the authorities are giving the information to the farmers. Accordingly, the farmers are moving ahead, and you need to take care of the seeds which are healthy. Sometimes you will come across in the news like fake seeds, right? So fake seeds means obviously the crop will collapse and the farmer will be losing all the money. That is the reason why, starting from the selection of the seeds, everything has to be taken into consideration and everything will be falling under cropping pattern. Am I clear? Next, that is the reason why agriculture is considered to be a very important aspect, as we know, under Indian economy. Rather, it is considered to be the mainstay of Indian economy. It is the backbone of Indian economy. Am I clear? Next, so when it comes to types, so obviously the name itself is indicating, so this is the monocropping, single crop. Is that okay? The importance of monocropping is growing. Separate crops on horticultural lands for each agrarian species. So you are taking a particular land, there you are going for single variety of crop, that is called monocropping. In majority of the lands in India, we see this type of cropping earlier, but nowadays, because of the awareness and increase in the technology, we have changed this particular system, and we are still on the path of shifting to other methods. A monoculture results in soil that lacks the richness and less versatile. Clear? Next, compounded manure will update the soil's composition. That is the reason why if you keep on going for the same crop on the same land every time, the fertility of the soil will come down. So whatever the nutrients that are present in the soil, they get absorbed and they get depleted over a period of time. That is the reason why, in order to maintain the health of the soil, manure will be used. Is that okay? So now you are talking more about the the fertilizers, right? And this organic fertilizers. So many things will come up that we'll be discussing over a period of time. But otherwise, my dear friends, whenever you are coming across with agriculture, kindly read that particular topic. Is that okay? Next is the mixed cropping. So what do you mean by this? The name itself is indicating mixed cropping. Is that okay? At least two harvests occur simultaneously on comparable land. Right? For example, grazing wheat on the same plot of land and gram on the same plot at the same time is termed as a blended editing. So you are mixing the croppings here. At the same time this is occurring, that is called mixed cropping. So there is an important difference in water requirements and development times between the harvests that have been created together. That is the reason why generally how the farmers will take care. So when you are going for the mixed cropping system, on one side the farmers will see that, so there will be a crop where you have the deep roots, right? On the other side, you will have a crop where you have the roots very very hollow, right? So I'll show you this one. The roots of one of the yields should be deep and the roots of the other should be shallow. Very 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 important. Clear? Fulfilling this multitude models can prompt an effective blended trimming design. So these are all the mechanisms that are followed by our agriculture people to increase the yield, to increase the productivity of not just one crop. Clear? They are going for the mixed cropping system at the same time. For any reason, if there is a failure of one crop, other crop will be saving the farmers. Am I clear? So that is one advantage with the mixed farming system. Clear? So from here let's go ahead and what are the benefits of the mixed cropping. Let's try to understand. Look at this. The harvest yield increments. The nuisance invasion is limited. It decreases in the gamble of a harvest disappointment. Otherwise what will happen? Right? If you have a large amount of land or small land, you go for only one crop and you are playing a gamble on that one. If that is a success, that will be huge success. If it is a loss, this is going to be huge loss. That is the reason why mixed cropping will reduce the disappointment of the agriculturist. Clear? And the dirt is used appropriately. More than one kind of yield is frequently reaped at the comparable time. This is another advantage. Instead of going for one yield, more than one yield is coming into the picture under the mixed cropping system. Am I clear? Now look at this. So next one is the intercropping. Is the act of developing very one yield on an identical field at a comparable time during a distinct line design. This is called intercropping. Look at this. What is happening here? After one column of the most yield, three lines of intercrops are frequently developed. This increments the efficiency per unit region. Kindly remember, whatever the types of the crops that we are discussing, every type has got its own advantages and disadvantages. What are they? That is important for our examination. Now let's go ahead and discuss more on this one. When it comes to intercropping, again, right? So depending on how exactly you are going for the cropping, right? Depending on this one, it may be row intercropping, it may be strip intercropping. Strip means a particular area, so you are going for one particular crop, and immediately after that you have another strip, and that is with respect to other yield. Clear? But when it comes to row intercropping, one row one crop, second row other crop. So like this you will be row wise you are going to change this, right? So this is the intercropping, and we have one more type, that is called relay intercropping. What is this? It is a sort of intercropping in which a subsequent yield is developed just when the all-round existing harvest has blossomed but not been gathered. Meaning is simple here. You have harvest, you are cultivating something, but you are not harvested. Clear? But you have not gathered the crop here. But before that one, if you are going for another crop, that is called relay cropping. So you are not leaving the land empty. So at any given point of time, the land is being used, and this is called relay intercropping. Before you gather, the flower has blossomed. Before you gather the crop, you are going for another crop, that is called relay intercropping. Just write down the side headings and write down the points in your own style, and that will be really helpful for you to revise the topics. So what are the benefits of intercropping? The spread of illness and bugs is controlled. So basically what will happen, if you have a crop and the bugs will be this infecting these crops, because the crop is same, bugs are the same, it can be this spread like anything. It will spread very fastly and the whole crop will be collapsed, right? And at the same time, all bugs don't affect all the crops, right? That is the reason why you have specific names for bugs that are affecting a particular crop. But if you go for intercropping, what will happen? If there are bugs also, they will be affecting only those crops that are prone to get infected by this, and the rest of the crop will be safe. That is the reason why the spread of illness and bugs is controlled. Ideal usage of the assets, right? The time and land used for developing more than one yields are saved. Greatest usage of supplements presents in the dirt, right? If you look at the maize, soybean, bajra, lobia are some of the yields developed as the intercrops. So mostly some of you are aware of the agriculture, and definitely how exactly this pattern system is going on, and this is common throughout the country. Next, so these are the benefits of intercropping. Next is the crop rotation. The name itself is indicating, right? So you have a crop now, for the next season you are going for the other crop, so that is called crop rotation. But one important and major advantage with crop rotation is that side by side you can go for the cultivation of the vegetables. So you can grow vegetables throughout the year. Clear? Apart from the crop, right? So you have a crop now, and the next season you are going for another crop. You are rotating the crops, but cultivating the vegetables in the same land, that will increase the income of the farmers. Very, 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 very important. This is called crop rotation. Now what are the benefits of the crop rotation? The dirt richness is kept up for an extended period. The development of weeds and vermin is forestalled. A ton of synthetic manures are not needed with crop rotation. This is one big advantage. The physical and substance nature of the dirt's remaining parts are unaltered. So these are all considered to be the benefits of the crop rotation. Now you have a question, right? So whatever we have learnt, that we can see in the form of a question. The cropping pattern, I have given the answer here already. I have already given the answer here, right? But but please read this. The cropping pattern is dependent on which of the following factors? First one, agroclimatic conditions of the region. Agreed, right? Availability of resources and market forces. That is also agreed. Socio-economic conditions of the farmers. Demand and supply of agricultural produce. Kindly remember this one. If you look at the option number C, because of the socio-economic conditions of the farmers, because of their the past, because of their practices, they will try to go for cultivation of certain crops. Number two, when it comes to economic conditions, they will come to know that so and so crop is going to give them more money, and meaning everybody wants to be strong economically. That is the reason why socio-economic conditions of the farmers are also one of the factors considered to be a part of the cropping patterns. Is that okay? And similarly, demand and supply of agricultural produce, you know this. So whatever the agricultural produce which has more demand, that will be cultivated more, meaning depending on the demand, the supply has to be there. So all these are considered to be the right ones with respect to cropping pattern is dependent on all these factors. Kindly remember, this may be a possible question, and at one place you may get a doubt, that is with respect to statement C, whether it is correct or not. I have explained you that statement is also very much correct. So kindly remember this one. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next session.